Welcome back to the Tide Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for December 15th, 2019. And we have a lot of great things going on this week. A lot of cool reveals. We also had some sort of an event, the SGC, and a lot of things shown there. A lot of things we've seen, but a little bit more progress on them coming up. I want to get started this week talking about some things that will be shipping this week, some new release items that are coming out, and you got the Iron Factory, Racing Brothers, the Runamuck and Runabout. They're shipping, they're in stock at Show Z. Also, you have the DX9, their version of their Motor Master. That's shipping right now. I look forward to getting that. And then I really look forward to getting this Goose, Fans Toys Goose. I think it looks amazing and in stock shipping out. Everybody's starting to get that thing, so hey, look for it. So we've got some actual prototype pictures of the acoustic wave, and this thing looks good. Now, the thing is that when you see the renders and you see the reality, you can start to see a couple little gaps here and there, but overall it looks good, especially for an unpainted prototype. That does look really good. He's pretty clean in the back overall, but it looks like I start to wonder what this transformation is going to be like, because it seems pretty simple and intuitive for the Takara version, but this one I'm not seeing how it's going to go together. That'll be an interesting transformation for sure. And of course, with these pictures come comparisons to Takara's prototype, which is pretty impressive comparisons there. And looking at it, it does look like a solid evolutionary step, but also looking at it like this, it does look a lot like Takara's was a pretty good attempt, or it still is a pretty good mold, a pretty good representation of the character. We also have some really good pictures of Thomas, and if you look at the background, you can see the other modes. So there's like 3 of them on this table, and he does look good. He does look like he's painted relatively well where he is painted, but it looks like the gray, it's hard to tell, but it looks like it's not painted. It's kind of got a plastic with a good sheen, so it'll be interesting to get that in hand and find out. Here's another good picture of him, but yes, he does look good. He looks great. Just that's a figure a lot of people have been waiting for. And Fans Toys did show up to the SGC, the event, and they showed off a lot of figures here, but the interesting thing is that some of the figures are getting closer to finished, it looks like, so we can kind of see what's coming next, like their drag strip right there. Of course, Thomas looks like he's pretty far along. We already knew about Hunk and Sheridan, but if you look to the left, I'm surprised Spindrift 2.0 is coming along this fast. Like, if it's showing up at the events, that makes me think that it is one of the next ones coming out. Along with, of course, we knew about Duneraker, and so that guy on the very left there, we knew about him, but there's more pictures of him now. Now here's a better painted picture of Duneraker. This is without those extra little slide-on pieces, I believe, because he's got some slide-on hood pieces. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but there is some sort of something with that. But anyway, this is what he looks like. Looks pretty cool. Looks good. And back to this picture, I want to look down below. Transform Element was there. I didn't get a better picture of this display, I guess. But you can see down below the Rat Trap, you see they were showing off their Mirage, and they're showing off their Bumblebee, and then they're showing off their Cheetor / Bumblebee mix. And DX9 was there. DX9 showed off their Minosaur, and he looks pretty good. I can't tell, I don't see, yep, he's got everything on the back, everything, this is completely done. Just, as you can see, the arms are still considered like a prototype, and I'm wondering, is that going to be the official color of the leg? So I'm kind of curious about that, seeing as how this thing's already shipping right now. They should have had that ironed out. So, kind of some concerns and issues, but I'll find out when I get mine. And looking at the last 2 that we're going to need for the arms, I have no guidance on when those are coming out, and so in the end, whenever X Transbots drops, X Transbots is completely done. This guy's still going to be waiting for 2 more vehicles, so 2 more figures. So that is like, it's like a race. Who's going to win, right? And also who's going to be the best. At this event, we also saw some Banana Force, and really, this thing just looks gigantic. It looks huge, and it's kind of the same kind of pictures we've been seeing now with a little bit more color on them, but not sure when these are going to release. But yeah, they look good, and they combine. Now, they don't transform, I understand, but they do combine. So out of this whole event, it really seems like Legends stuff is really taking over the event, or maybe it's taking over third party overall, because they're smaller, they're cheaper to get out, you can put more out faster, it's easier, I guess, a better price point, less risk, lots of reasons why. Anyway, we got this new age version of a Turtles that transforms into what looks sort of like a Brawn. So that's an interesting concept. I don't know if it's going to be sold as a 4-pack or not, but there's kind of some obscure stuff that's going on there. We got more pictures of Soundwave, and the Soundwave does look good. It shows you that, you know, the compartment opens up. It is not transparent. It holds a tape. So I'm sure we'll know more about that soon. Then this one here shows how good he looks in his robot mode, just standing up at normal. And then we get to see some cassettes. So the thing about these cassettes is that they are just so ridiculously small. And all of the cassettes that have come so far have been very, very lackluster. And I know that we also have Half Battle Toys putting out some cassettes that are small, that go with the with the regular mainline stuff, but they are still almost twice the size, at least twice the size as these. So it's so impressive that they're so small, yet they look so good. More shots of New Age. No, Magic Square. Magic Square's Megatron. This looks good, like real good. And I'm not gonna lie, the New Age one looks great also. That Agamemnon looks great. So this one here, I could see this being a masterpiece scale, and I don't know why they're not doing it just yet. Why not jump on that bandwagon? But he looks really good. I mean, it would hold its own on a masterpiece shelf, and can't wait for this guy to come out, because I'm going to pick him up, even though I already have a couple other Legends of Megatron. We've got these Reflector figures. Now, the Reflector looks really good, and just everything being at that scale, it is just outstanding. It looks good. It looks great. I like the way these guys look. And we already have an option, but that option isn't this close to tune. Here we go, a little bit more Magic Square. It looks like we've got their Starscream in there. We've got both forms, and then some more of the Soundwave. And they're showing off more of their Menasor. So I'm starting to wonder, I guess they're going to be sold individually, and then you're going to build it. I wonder if there'll be a box set for this, not sure. But it looks good, and as the first Legends scale combiner for Menasor, and I don't see a battle going on for this like we see in the Masterpiece, but it looks really good. That is a nice looking, different options. It's not even in color yet, and he looks great. Iron Factory showed up with a few things. They got their Cliff Jumper, I think it's called Army of One. They have what looks to be a Power Glide that they're putting out. And yes, it's a very stylized version, but yeah, still pretty cool looking. And then they have their version of Optimal Optimus, and he has what, 4-mode conversion there. And Optimal Optimus does look pretty cool. And that's the funny thing, like the stylized version of that character still to me looks a whole lot like that character, because he was so out there and different. They've also got their well, it's kind of a recolor of their Wheeljack into Exhaust, is that what it is? They call him Exhaust. And of course, Red Dragon. And that Red Dragon does look good, and it does kind of, I don't know, I was wanting to think that it was going to look like the Perfect Effects, but it does look a lot different than the Perfect Effects at the same time. A lot of great Legends figures at this event. So we got a company, Cyber Factory, making their CF01 Star Storm. Anyway, it's a pretty cool looking version of a Bumblebee movie, Starscream, and it does transform into this. And the thing is that this is sort of reminiscent of of the Tetrajet kind of design, but not a full real Tetrajet. And the figure looks, this is Starscream. It looks like Blitzwing. So I'm wondering if they just counted Blitzwing as a seeker or what. When I did a side-by-side, there are a lot of little differences here and there. So, but this is Starscream, not Blitzwing, to keep this all straight. So there's this Chinese company making a Nisha X. Very little information known about it, and how big it's going to be, not really sure, but it kind of has this little character that goes inside, transforms into a car, sort of kind of a cliff jumper-esque kind of car maybe, I don't know, but a couple of movie items, live action movie items. Got Unique Toys making their Galvatron. This is the one that transforms into a truck, and yeah, I think that was the one that they made out of the Transformium. Is that what it was called? Transformium? We're also getting a new studio series, Revenge of the Fallen Soundwave. Yeah, Soundwave. Anyway, I don't remember Soundwave having any paint on them. So when I saw this picture, I thought that looks cool. But when I remember him floating around in space, he just looked monochrome kind of look to him. So that's something I didn't expect. It's kind of a surprise to me. With the studio series, we have the Shatter Jet Mode studio series of Shatter. And so this one is not the one that turns into the car. It turns into a jet. They can't make a triple changer. You can see some reminiscent parts of the car on this figure. And here's what it looks like in a jet mode, which is super clean. That almost looks like an aerial bot to me. I was like, no, that's a pretty clean looking aerial bot. Not really an aerial bot, but I like this picture that's floating around. This is really cool. This side by side. So on the left side, what you're seeing is actually the movie, and on the right side is the studio series. And so you can see how close they got. Like that, the biggest change I say is like the hip, the way the hip works. And then we don't really know if the arms are a little bit different, but the arms look different, but maybe they're supposed to be different. But it's still pretty cool, relatively close, aside from that giant hip change. Getting closer to Chug here, we've got this Skull Cruncher that's going to be an Ultra class Cyberverse. And I thought, okay, I don't know all the classes of Cyberverse, so I'm guessing Ultra class is like tall, like a leader class. But anyway, I know we got this figure already once. We got it back in the Titan Returns, and so now it's getting a different treatment now in the Cyberverse. So it'll be interesting to see how this figure comes out, and will it even be a Headmaster? I don't think Cyberverse has those small choking parts. And Dollar Tree's supposed to be getting these little statues. These little statues in a bag, and pretty cool. I mean, for $1, and they're painted really well. Here's the back of the box that they show up in, so you can just kind of see what they are. And so now there's 6 of these instead of 4, like we have with the keychains. I guess those little keychain or bag clip or whatever those things were called, they sold really well. So Dollar Tree's on board with even more stuff like that. But something like this really goes to show you how strong the Transform brand is, because all the other $1 characters that are on the shelf that are supposed to be popular never ever move. But Transformers, they wipe them out in a day. So we've gotten some pictures of some more of the Earthrise figures popping up here and there. So here is Ironworks next to Ironhide. And so for this to be a deluxe figure, Ironhide's on the large size also. So this is a pretty big deluxe figure the Ironworks will be. And there is some question about, like, should he even turn into a robot? And I say yes, because it was kind of lame in G1. I'm gonna admit that those little stations, if they would have turned into something more than just what they did, would have been a lot cooler. So this, I think, takes it to the next level. Some people might not agree with me on that, but we do have more pictures of Hoist, and I think the more pictures I see of Hoist, the better. I like that color of green. So at first I wasn't sure about the color of green. Now the in-hand images showing the color of green. I think the feet are a little stubby. They could have used a little bit more there. But, I mean, I guess that's just nitpicking. The best one we've seen of this character in the main line. Also, we get comparisons next to Ratchet and Optimus Prime. And gotta say, it looks good. I'm okay with this scale. And that's another thing about Siege and Earthrise and all that, is that all of the figures will scale together. You're not going to have 2 or 3 different size options for Optimus Prime, which they used to do, which made no sense. This makes a lot more sense. And since everybody calls this Chug News anyway, there's this picture floating around, people wondering is this really a city mode for the HasLab Unicron, and it's kind of been confirmed indirectly that this is just an unused design. A design that they had that never got used, never was put into it. I don't know if this is something that maybe it was an idea around maybe the Armada time frame of something that they were going to do, but this, just looking at this, I could tell this is not HasLab. So if it was, I don't know if I'd want to even put it in it, but it's kind of a cool idea and a cool concept in a way. And yes, Takara came out and said again that their Raiden's going to be Masterpiece. It is not going to be a Chug scale. It is going to be in the Masterpiece scale. And then the debate started going on again that when they made Devastator, the designer of Devastator called it their attempt at a masterpiece, and so now the debate's back in. Even after this, and the confirmation is Masterpiece, now they're saying what Takara considers Masterpiece size. So anyway, it'll be real interesting to see actual pictures and actual size comparisons. So moving into some Star Wars stuff, this find at a estate sale is a mind-blowing find. This is 22 vintage R2-D2s, mint on the package with the coin and all that, and the Power of the Force line. So a good condition one of these goes for $600 to $1,000. If they get AFA rated, which costs it like $50 plus the shipping back and forth and all that, it could go for well over $1,000 each. Some of these look like they're in rough shape though, and some look like they're in pristine shape. So they all have the yellow bubble, that yellowing that happens to the plastic of the bubble over the years. But imagine someone across this. That's impressive. A little bit of lighthearted fun in Germany at Burger King's. They have taken on a new promotion, started on the 11th, and there's actually a commercial about it in German. And you go into a Burger King in Germany, and you're going to see spoilers. Spoilers for the movie that comes out Thursday. Technically it's Friday, but Thursday. And when the movie comes out, it's going to be spoiled for you. Now, I don't think these are really spoilers. I think that they just went on the internet and whatever rumors they saw, they threw in, because it's all stuff we've heard before. And it's funny because when they talk about the spoilers, they don't refer to any characters' names. They call, I think, Rey the woman with the lightsaber or something like that. But anyway, I'm not going to go into what the spoilers are. I personally don't care about spoilers, but I think a lot of people do, and they don't want to get this movie ruined or whatever. But they have it on their name tags, on the wrappers, on the actual menu boards for each item. It tells you. It's just crazy what they've done, and kind of funny. I think by far the biggest news this week is that the Count Dooku lightsaber is getting reissued. And it's not that Count Dooku's lightsaber is the greatest lightsaber in the world. It's just that it's getting to be ultra rare. They made it one year in very, 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 very small quantities. And to the point that most of the time there's not even one available on eBay to buy. When it pops up, it's anywhere between $1,700 and $2,000. Now Disney sees that, they're putting this lightsaber out, and they're upping the price on these each year a little bit. Now it's $215. They were selling for $150 last year. Now they're selling it for $215, which is crazy, but way better than $1,700, I guess. And hey, this is your chance to get this. Don't pass it up this go around if you like these lightsabers. A couple items that are popping up on Amazon is the Mandalorian, the ATST Raider, and I gotta say that the ATST, this is the bigger version. It's pretty cool. The episode that had this in it was a pretty cool episode too, and the box and everything, it's just like the one they put in the Vintage Collection, except it's oriented different and a different kind of course, the different packaging, the different saying the Mandalorian instead of saying Return of the Jedi and all that stuff. But it's still very, very reminiscent of G1. Nope, vintage. Also, you go to Amazon and order the 2-pack here, the Chewbacca and C-3PO. And really, the cool thing about this is really just the C-3PO and how he breaks apart, and those little tips on the arms and the legs. Those pieces that look like it's electrical wiring coming out are just removable extra add-on pieces. So I think it's cool that they did that. And this is all new, it seems. It seems that the Hasbro Toy Shop, eBay store, whatever they're calling it, had put this Infant's Nest up for $9. This is the 6-inch Black Series one for $9. Now, it's sold out now, but and I think they sold out or they took them down, whatever. But the news broke. People bought them like crazy. Someone caught on that it was a mistake that they put it on for $9 instead of normal $60. Same thing with some of those FX lightsabers. Some of the older stock of the FX lightsabers were put up for $20. I missed that. I never saw a picture of it, but it's kind of a rumor I heard and saw, and that is pretty impressive. If you were able to actually score one for those prices, that's outstanding. Yes, and they had the Princess Leia Organa on the Hasbro Pulse up for sale with the ceremony, the Yavin ceremony. So would look good next to the Luke one, which is the Walmart exclusive. And they're going to make a whole slew of these Baby Yodas. They're on pre-order right now at the Entertainment Earth. But this one here is the Black Series. It's going to be $10. It's going to be kind of like the Porg set because it's going to be so small. I don't know if you remember the Porg set that was just tiny, and that was like $8. But I think they're really counting on Baby Yoda selling really well. They're going to have all different sizes and shapes and price points and plush, not plush, vinyl head, all kinds of stuff going on. And they're really counting on some good sales with Baby Yoda. And they even call it Baby Yoda. It's not really a Baby Yoda. Well, actually, we don't know exactly what it is yet. Or he or she. And lastly, the Mandalorian. I just want you to know, if you're watching the show, it's going to be available on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday, because the day before, so you could watch it, get excited, then Thursday, go hit the premiere of episode 9 and have all kinds of fun with that. So, hey, that's kind of cool. You don't have to wait till Friday to watch the next episode of The Mandalorian. So let me know what you think about this week's Weekly News in Review. Lots of great things, lots of stuff at this event. Wonderful future of collecting and what's coming out. It just gets exciting, and it's fun to kind of see the progress of some of these things. It's also fun to see new things, and let me know what you think. If I missed anything really amazing, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.